Yeah, I know my camera looks like shit, but I'm gonna get into this anyways, so yeah, just hang on a second. Okay, well, anyways, let's get into this. Mortal Kombat 2021. So, I just did a review on that like 2 nights ago, after I watched it. So, I was basically bashing it. Now, I was just upset, like I don't mean to like really bash it like fully down to the ground because I know there's people that really like this movie and I could understand that because a lot of this new generation they they don't really understand what it takes to really make an excellent movie. Now back in '95, we were kids. I come from the generation. I come from the era when Mortal Kombat was the beginning. The beginning of a new video game era. I came from that era. I was born in '89, and starting from there, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, onto PlayStation 1 to Nintendo 64 and stuff like that, Sega Saturn. I was, born in a time when gaming was just developing and becoming so much more, than just a regular pixel, like Atari. So, I started in the 16-bit era, so I know Mortal Kombat. When I say that this movie wasn't all that, it really wasn't all that because I came from the time of Mortal Kombat. I came from when the first movie came out, and we as the fans now yes, we as the fans, we wanted to see what we wanted to see in the video games. We didn't get exactly that, because of the costumes and stuff like that in the '95 movie, but we got at least, you know, the fights, and we got the characters, the human connection. The acting was great. There was cheesy lines, yes, of course. It's the '90s. The '90s was the era of cheesiness. And you have like Judge Dredd and stuff like that. All the cheesy type of movies. For because it was mainly targeted for the young generation of boys. Because boys back then were into those kind of things. The superhero of the '90s. Or even the '80s, because you had RoboCop and stuff like that. You know, I came from that time. I came from that era, so I know what we're looking for. Like this new generation, they're different. They're a little different, so they're probably going to appreciate different quality and different types of storytelling and different types. Just even if it doesn't make sense, they still appreciate it. I don't understand why, but they still do. Maybe it's because they're lying, and they want to, they want to pretend because they want people to like them, so they're pretending. Maybe, but at least I'm not afraid to be completely honest. And if it hurts, or offends someone else, I'm not afraid of that because I'm being truthful. Okay. So, anyways, on to the movie. The 21 movie. Now let's go to the ratings right now. IMDb has a 6.4 out of 10 stars right now. Like that's their ratings right now. 6.4 out of 10. That's not great. That's just the peak of okay. That does not make it a great movie. Now you have a bunch of people who said this movie was great. Why? Because the costumes were great? Yes, they were. The costumes were on point. Like I said in the previous video, I said that the costume designs was perfect. It fit for the new PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 era where we have Mortal Kombat XL and Mortal Kombat 11. The costume designs were great. The fights, yes, they were well choreographed. I could give you that too. Now, and the visual effects, it was like I said, it was on point with all that stuff. But what I'm disappointed with, reasons why I didn't like it, is because the human connection wasn't there. The story connection wasn't there. Like you have the plot, which is Mortal Kombat, the tournament. Now, I understand, yes, maybe they're preparing. It's like a prequel, they're preparing to set you up for the next film, where they're gonna jump into the tournament, the next film. Okay, maybe I could get that. But why would you kill off the main characters that should be in the tournament in this movie? If you're going to prepare for the tournament, leave Goro out the first one then. Goro shouldn't have been there. He should have been there. Kung Lao, you killed him off already. Yeah, maybe you gave him you gave Liu Kang a reason to be very, very angry and want revenge. Like in the old '95 film, he wanted his revenge because his brother was killed, so that's why he wanted Shang Tsung and he joined the tournament. And they, Raiden said, there's no one else because he obviously had, the ability to come after Shang Tsung. But Raiden was just gonna guide him in a way where, you don't want revenge. You don't want to do it that way, because you could hurt yourself and others around you. So, now I get that. They kill off Kung Lao, the only connection to Liu Kang, and stuff like that to make him join the tournament even harder. But still, I don't think you should have killed Kung Lao. Kung Lao, we want to see him in a tournament, okay? We want to see Kung Lao, the fans, okay? I'm a fan, Mortal Kombat, born and raised, into Mortal Kombat. I was born into that era when it started, okay? I came from that time. So, we, the fans, have been fiending to see a movie with Kung Lao, okay? I know I'm speaking for many of you right now who are Mortal Kombat fans and have been there since, just like me, who's been there since the 90s and been playing the video games since Sega Genesis, okay? I know that you know damn well you want to see Kung Lao fight in a movie. You want to see him. Now, Annihilation, was he in Annihilation? No, he wasn't. Kung Lao wasn't in Annihilation. Was he? I can't fully remember, but no, he wasn't. Kung Lao was not in the films, the older ones in the 90s. He wasn't in there. So obviously people want to see Kung Lao. So why would you kill him so fast in this new film? You killed him too damn fast. Too early. It was just too early, and it was too early to feature Prince Goro. Sub-Zero was fucking awesome. I think he was pretty badass. Yes, I wanted to see Sub-Zero like that, and I got that. That was good. Okay, that was good. Very good. But other than that, Scorpion, he was really good. I liked how Scorpion was. But what I didn't like is that they threw in like a bunch of stories into one, and that's why the story didn't come together. They kept throwing too many stories into one movie, and it just didn't fit because you had to rush everything like that, and that's why it didn't work because you rushed everything too fast. That's what my problem was with the movie. I'm pretty sure I speak for everyone else. If you agree with me or not, I'm just telling you from my point of view. It was disappointing, That's why I was frustrated with the movie in my first review. Right after seeing it, I was very upset. I was like, I wanted to see these characters, going at it in a tournament, the tournament, Mortal Kombat. It's held once in a lifetime, or once in a generation. Yeah, I was doing the Master Boyd scene from the original one, 95. But yes, we wanted to see these characters, and I keep mentioning Prince Goro because he was one of my favorites, and he was so fucking intimidating and scary, and he was just like real hilarious, like, this puny mortal will be no problem. I'll crush him in one blow. All right, let's dance, But Prince Goro was the best. He was the master. He was like the next best thing compared to what's his name? How did I forget his name already? I think my brain is farting. Shao Kahn. It was like the next best thing next to Shao Kahn, even though Shao Kahn was garbage in Annihilation. But that was the 90s. Where shit was always cheesy, and it was so bad that you still loved it, and you could watch it over and over again because it was so bad, But at least their costumes was pretty fucking cool. But other than that, this 2021 film was wasn't all that. You know, just because it was just because of the story. That's the only disappointment. It was because of the story, how they put everything together, and it was the acting. You know, how the acting was. It's like, you know, they didn't get enough screen time. They really didn't. It's like they pretty much rushed everything. They got the actors and said they looked the part and just threw them in their movie and was just like improvise. You know, that's what it looked like. You know, like less experienced actors, and they just threw them in there to improvise. That's what it looked like to me. It was like, and of course they did their cheesy lines, but it looked like they had to improvise on cheesy lines. It was like, I don't know if that's gonna work. And I kid you not, none of their lines was really memorable for me. I you know, this is my opinion though, but there's probably memorable lines for everyone else. Like Kano especially. I know Kano, people love Kano. I mean, yeah, he was the funniest part of the whole movie. I think he was one of the greatest parts of the whole movie because he was pretty funny with his, you know, sarcastic, smuggy lines and shit, you know, his attitude. He was pretty funny. I thought he was pretty funny. I like Kano. I thought that was a very good Kano. Now, who else? Jax. I mentioned Jax before in the other video. Jax, he was pretty good. But I just didn't like the thing about his arms. That's the thing that threw me off, was his arms. You know, like how the Buddhist monks, you know, just made his arms so freaking skinny and small, and then all of a sudden he's lifting off a giant boulder, which didn't kill Sonya. I mean, that shit should have smashed her into goo. But she was just fine and dandy with no bruises, no cuts, nothing like that. Not even a broken bone, not even a broken finger, which is amazing. But, you know, totally illogical. But, you know, he lifted up the boulder, and then all of a sudden he found his what did they call it again? Oh my god, I keep forgetting what it was called. His power, you know. And then all of a sudden his arms just grow bigger and it's more machine, huge machine. It's like, I don't know, man. I don't know about that. But if it worked for this generation, cool. You know, I can understand that. You know, it's a different time we live in. You know, it's a totally different time, and this new generation is different. You know, so what they appreciate is different from what we appreciated back in the 90s. You know, God, I look like a vampire. That's so weird. But yeah. So we had Sonya. Sonya, I kind of like Sonya. You know, she was pretty badass. The way she fought, I thought that was cool. You know, I kind of liked the way she fought. It was definitely better than the original Sonya. Now, I said in the previous video the other Sonya was better because her acting was better. It wasn't because her fight skills was better. It was because her acting was much better, because she was an actual actress. You know, she wasn't a fighter. She wasn't trained in any type of fighting, but she was an actress. So she knew how to play her role. It was just her fighting wasn't all that. Like, you see her cheesy little arm stands and shit, you know, like. But it was still cute to me, you know, because I thought she was adorable. Like, I used to love that girl. But her acting was always on point. Her acting skills was much better. This new Sonya, her acting skills wasn't all that, but her fighting was definitely better. She was definitely, like, I don't know, maybe I should look her up to see if she was a real fighter. She kind of had that ability, you know, like, unless that was like a stunt woman and they just like edited her face over the stunt woman. I don't know, but you know, but yeah, you know, Sonya she was pretty badass, and I liked her costume. You know, I liked the way she looked. She was badass. So who else? Shang Tsung. Shang Tsung. Shang Tsung. You know, it was pretty badass how he said that, Shang Tsung. But I didn't like that Shang Tsung. I can't lie to you. I did not like that Shang Tsung. Now, don't get me wrong. His costume design was on point from this new generation. But the older Shang Tsung from '95, that was Shang Tsung. His attitude and, you know, his deadly... Hold on a second. Somebody's calling me real quick. You're going to have to wait, buddy. His acting, because he was a professional actor, you know, it was way better. Like, he was just so intimidating, you know. Your soul is mine. You felt it, you know? The way he acted as Shang Tsung, you felt it. You felt that he was very, very, very vicious, and you don't want to fuck with him, you know? Like, you just felt that. You don't want to mess with that guy, okay? And he was just very, very, just intimidating, you know? He was very intimidating, and that fit. That thing, like, that Shang Tsung, you know? This new Shang Tsung, it didn't cut it. It just didn't cut it. I mean, that I know who this guy's an actor. He's a professional actor. I know that. But this role wasn't for him. This role was not for him. It just wasn't intimidating. He was not intimidating looking at all. Like, his attitude and the way he spoke, it was just like, yeah, dude, I could just punch you with one finger and you'll go flying. You know, like, I'll just kick you in the nuts and you're done. You know, like, he just didn't fit for that role. He didn't fit. You know, he was pretty funny in the Dark Knight. I forgot his name. Yeah, he was in the Dark Knight. If many of you don't know that and don't recognize him, he was in the Dark Knight. He played that you know, the Chinese guy that took all the mafia's money to China, and then Batman went and go get him. That guy just doesn't fit for a Shang Tsung, you know? A fucking vicious, murderous, soul-grabbing motherfucker, you know? Like, just somebody from Outworld who's just unbeatable, you know, you just can't beat him, you know? You can't scare him because he will scare you even more. Yeah, his Shang Tsung wasn't all that. I just couldn't get intimidated by that. I was just like, man, he's not scary. I'm sorry. He just doesn't seem scary. Cole. I gotta mention about Cole. Now, here we have, right, about 2 stories already that you're putting into a movie, right? You have the story that we begin with, Sub-Zero versus Scorpion, right? The origins of how it started, you know, their confrontation, their conflict. How it started and why they hate each other so freaking much and are always at each other's throats and want to rip each other's heads off all the time. Okay, we get that. Excuse me. We get that. Now, after that, it's like, and that whole first 7 minutes was freaking amazing. I was in, you know, until everything just got thrown off once we get featured to Cole. Once we get introduced to Cole, it threw me off automatically. I was like, who's this guy? What are we watching? What is this going to be, a new Rocky movie? Like, what is this? Jesus Christ. Dude, hold on a minute. It's like, are we preparing for a new Rocky movie? What's going on here? You know, like, we see this MMA fighter with his teenage sister, which looked like his sister. I kid you not, I did not think this man was old enough to have a teenage daughter. I was just like, what the hell is going on here? This guy looks like he's his older brother, not her father. He looked like he was 25, and she looked like she was 14, 15. Like, huh? That's his daughter? And the wife, his baby mom's was freaking, like, the same age as him. I'm like, I was so confused. And now, so anyways, getting off that, the whole story with him, it's like, who is this guy, where did he come from, and why are we watching him, you know, and why are we learning about him instead of, hold on a second, what's going on with the lighting here? Let me fix this lighting. There we go. Okay. It's like, why are we watching him over the other characters? Like, introducing us to other characters. Okay, I get maybe you want to introduce a new character so that way you could get into the tournament, and reasons why, you know, they were looking for fighters and stuff like that. I could get that, but the whole thing about his family was just throwing it off, you know. And it's like, okay, are we going to watch a movie about him fighting for his family, or are we going to watch a movie about a tournament, or are we going to watch a movie about Scorpion and Sub-Zero? Which one is it? I'm confused, and that's where I say the whole movie did not make sense, and that's why it just didn't work, because they put too much into one movie and it was rushed. And then not only that, you killed off characters that shouldn't have been in this movie if you're going to do a sequel where you're going to start the tournament in that one. Okay, if you're preparing us for the tournament, don't put the most valuable characters in this movie and kill them. Why would you do that? Oh, it's driving me crazy. It's driving me crazy. I was like, I can't, and I just don't want to watch this movie again. It just wasn't all that, you know. I'm sorry to let the new director down, because I know this is a new director, you know. He wants his, you know, his part into the movie making industry. I know this guy, it's his first time, you know. Maybe that's probably why the movie was bad, you know. It's his first time. Maybe, dude, you should have done another movie instead of doing Mortal Kombat. You know, maybe you should have just started your own franchise for the, you know, just for a start off, like James Cameron did. How he started off with Terminator. You know, like how he became the ultra freaking amazing director ever since he did Terminator. And his budget was way lower than yours, dude. You had, what was your budget? This budget for this movie, Mortal Kombat, was $50 million. $50 million. But, and you could see that's $50 million in there, but it just looked like they didn't use all of it. You know, they just didn't use much of it. And they didn't put the time into perfecting the scenes. They didn't put the time into perfecting the scenes. Now, look at a director like, you know, I'm just giving you a little advice. I'm not a professional, you know, but I'm just for this new director. What's his name again? Look at his name again. Just patience with me, people. Jesus Christ. My friend keeps calling me, and I'll call you back. Don't worry. I'm a little busy. This is director Simon McQuoid. Simon McQuoid. Is that how you pronounce McQuoid? McQuoid. Simon McQuoid. Okay, Simon. Now, don't get me wrong. You did a great job. A great job with getting there. You know, getting the crew set for the costumes and maybe the scenery. Like the scenery with I know CGI, but the whole scenery with Outworld, that was on point. That was on point. I give you that. I mean, you had a lot of things on point. It's just you didn't take the time to perfect their acting skills and their connection with each other. If they're going to do scenes with each other, their connection was not there. You know what I'm saying? Like, like the best advice I'll give this director, Simon, is to look at James Cameron. You know, because he's my ultimate favorite director, because his movies are the best, especially because my #1 movie is Terminator 2 Judgment Day. It was just so perfectly done. Yeah, there's mistakes in there, but you can't really notice that for your first time watching that. And, I mean, you have to watch it 1,000 times in order to notice those mistakes. And then, yeah, of course, you know. But it's movies. It's not going to be extremely perfect. But to get the audience to really, really want to watch it again, you got to take the time to perfect it. That's it. You just take the time. You don't rush everything. Don't rush it. Yeah, maybe if you would have pushed the movie back another year because you wanted to perfect their acting skills, do it. Do it, you know? Like, I don't care. Yeah, I'll wait another year. That's okay. I'll wait another year. Fine. That's fine. But make it worth it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's all I really want to say in this second video, this part 2 on the review. Yeah, but this is my point of view, you know, and I'm pretty sure I relate to a bunch of other people, and other people relate to me. Everybody has their different opinions. That's fine, you know. And if you like the movie, hey, cheers to you then, you know. Just don't expect me to agree. That's all. That's all I'm saying. You know, because I came from the time and era when Mortal Kombat was just starting. Okay, so I know Mortal Kombat. But other than that. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that the music. Well, I mentioned that in the other video, but the music, I didn't really like it. You know, it didn't fit. It just didn't go together with the epic music. You know, I know maybe Simon tried to do something new. You know, he wanted to just probably have some new epic music in there, try to make it more realistic, you know what I'm saying, like, and make it feel like it's more realistic, but it didn't go. It didn't go. I'm sorry, you know, it just didn't go. And next time, if we're gonna do the sequel, put techno in there, please. Please put the hardcore, you know, bass and drum music, you know, freaking, remember, KD, what was it, KMFDM? They use KMFDM in that movie, like, in the original. Like, it works, because that is, it's Mortal Kombat, man. You got violence, you got gore, you got freaking, you need the heavy metal, you need the hardcore metal music, you need the hardcore techno music, you need that, because it fits for that type of style, you know? It goes perfectly. I'm pretty sure many people agree. If you don't agree, it's fine. That's okay. But yeah, so that's all I'm gonna say in this video. And if you agreed, you know, like, share, subscribe. You know, tell people, let other people know, you know, that this movie wasn't all that, from my opinion. And if they, because I'm pretty sure many people agree, so this video will help people out, you know, to understand, and they're not going to feel like the only ones. So that's why it's important to share this video, that, you know, I want them to feel like they're not the only one that, you know, feels like it's a bad movie, because there's so many of them. I've seen a bunch of, you know, videos already, reviews, and none of them were good reviews on it. So, you know, like, I'll give shout out to Tyrone Magnus. That guy's awesome, you know. So shout out to you. You're a great fucking, you know, YouTuber. So yeah, he disagreed. Even he just, you know, disagreed with the movie. He didn't. He felt like something was off, you know. So yeah, I agree with him. So with that being said, which I say in every one of my videos. With that being said. I guess that's gonna be like my signature. So yeah, with that being said, thanks for watching, and hit that subscribe button. Yeah, help me out, get to 100,000. I mean 100,000. Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna get there overnight. Yeah, so help me get to 1,000 subscribers, you know, so I could do more videos for you guys. And I want to do live. I have to get to 1,000, you know, in order to do live videos. I want to do live, you know. I just want to go straight into shooting, you know. So yeah, thanks for watching, and tune in next time, guys.